Hey guys, before I start the video, just want to say thank you for watching the first episode. And I didn't get it uploaded the 29th. And first of all, fucking go Sharks. Alright. I called it. I predicted it. Overtime win, hard fought game. But that's beyond that. I also want to say also that we are not professionals. We're not professional analysts or whatever. This is just for fun. But again, I hope you guys enjoy episode 1. Go Sharks! And I hope you guys like the video.
Alright, you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
We're trying to follow the fucking Instagram. Alright.
The hell are you doing?
In alone, scores! Tomas Hertl gives the Sharks the lead.
Okay, follow us on Teal Goose and Cyber Shark. We are doing a new show right now. First episode of Teal Talk, the fan podcast for your San Jose Sharks. Joining me, of course, is Sniper Shark. So what we're doing today is basically just talking about everything San Jose Sharks, news, rumors, injuries, concerns.
Over here, honey pie.
Oh, hello. So, I guess let's talk about the glaring issue right now. And that's... And then we've dropped 7 in a row. And,
Yeah, in case you didn't know, we're doing this with baby sharks and everybody screaming around me, so we're going to deal with it.
And, yeah, so how you feeling about that, man? Like...
Well, according to the cucks on Twitter, we're apparently going to get swept in round 1. It's about to just be RIP in peace. You know, and that's one thing I don't understand is that, you know, for such a quote-unquote passionate fan base, yeah, you're on a skid. Yeah, it's the wrong time, but you also lost Shimmick, who no one's talking about. You know, we don't have Carlson. You don't have your captain, and apparently his injury is more severe than we thought. So, you know, it's a concern, but if they're both healthy to go for game 1, then I don't see what everybody's concern is.
It's funny that you brought that up too, like just like the negativity that's like going around right now.
Yeah.
And I'm actually on the Reddit right now, and it looks like there's some people trying to like, you know, show some positivity. I mean, again, like just like you've mentioned, like Shimek's down, and if you're watching this last game versus Chicago, we are recording on the 29th, so we just played Chicago at home and lost. But freaking during the telecast, I think they say too that like Shemek could have been a top 4 defender. I mean, he was paired with Burns before he was down, right? I mean, so
Yeah, you know, he was paired with Burns, and there's people talking about how he's a bottom 6 guy and he's not a top pair guy. But when you're playing, you know, 20-plus minutes with Burns and you take him out and you put Joachim Ryan in, who I'll comment on later, and all of a sudden we start allowing more and more goals and this and that, it's just like you can't understate how much he meant to the team.
yeah,
You know,
I think we're allowing 3 goals a game. I think we're 21st in that. So
it's something outrageous, and people are also telling me that, you know, turnovers have nothing to do with it, and you know
I want to talk about turnovers.
There's only 2 sides of the spectrum apparently. There's like me and a couple of other guys that are in the middle. You're either saying that Jones is 100% the problem, or you're saying it's 50-50. Me, I can go both ways. I showed a few clips of yesterday where, you know, we're giving pucks up to Patrick Kane, and just not the guy you want to give it to.
You texted me during the game, and I was watching it live, finally, for once. That terrible giveaway by Dylan, of all people, too, in our zone. Banked off the boards, trying to hit Sorensen, I believe, and gave it right. I think, was it to Kane or something like that? Like, it was...
He gave it to Kane twice.
Yeah, and it's just like...
The second one wasn't... I mean, it was probably worse because it was about an inch away from getting deflected. I think Kunin was in front. There's a dude wide open in front that no one's even talking about. He was just standing there wide open, and if he tips it, it's in the net.
Because Kane, like, just spun
Kane
around.
He just flicked it,
Yeah.
and he flicked it at 70 miles an hour. because apparently people forget that in the NHL that there's other superstars, and you can call Jones average, and that's what he's been right now, and that's fine. I'm not arguing. I'm not even arguing he's been bad. He's led in a couple ones that I'm just like, dude, that just can't happen. And there's also goals where you've got Jonathan Toews standing backdoor with nobody near him, and it's his reflexes. He's too slow to slide across. Well, when somebody takes a slap shot that bounces in front of you and then bounces directly to your right to a guy that's, I don't know, their captain for, a good reason, he's going to score. He's going to score. He's below the dot with nobody near him. And, Jones could have got across. Yes, this, yes, that. There's a lot of things. But to blame him on every single goal, every single game, I just don't understand. Like, that's just people not watching the game. That's just people seeing the Twitter page talking about, the Blackhawks scored. Oh, Jones sucks. Or the Red Wings game where they gave up a breakaway 48 seconds in, and Jones's 5-hole's awful. That's Dylan Larkin. That's skating in alone from center ice. And then the next one was Andreas Athanasiou, who skates like a fucking 3.940.
Yeah,
the fastest guy on their team, and he's also got 30 goals. So it's just ridiculous to blame one guy or the other. It's the entire unit. Our top guys they finally came to life last game.
Yeah,
they finally
our
scored.
play looked pretty good yesterday.
Yeah, power play was absolutely ferocious. The last was like 20. There was like 2 for like 25.
Yeah,
in the last however many games, and it's been awful. And everybody's trying to understate that. Oh well, we just won 6 in a row. That's true. And now we've lost a few. Has anybody been watching Vegas like me? Because they're losing 3-1 to Minnesota at home right now. They're about to lose 4 in a row.
Bring up too. So I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw somewhere that if Vegas loses in regulation tonight, and then we win tomorrow in regulation tonight, we would secure home ice against possibly.
Because with the games remaining, and we're still I think like 5 points up on them.
We are. Yeah, I think 5 points. I think
it's like 95 to 90, I think. Because Calgary went up to 103.
Yep.
So
we're not Calgary. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say that first.
Calgary just beat Anaheim tonight. They absolutely slaughtered them, and that pretty much secures it. Unless they completely lose out and we win, because tomorrow and Sunday is the biggest back-to-back we've had in a long, long time.
Yeah.
There's no better way to bust a slump than beating your 2 rivals and the 2 teams you're playing. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish here, kid.
And at home too, correct?
You're at home for both games. You've had days off. Vegas is coming off a back-to-back, so you're playing Vegas tomorrow on their second half of a back-to-back, and then you're playing Calgary, who's just playing Anaheim tonight, so they're pretty much a night off for them. It's going to be tough, but there's still Marc-Andre Fleury's not playing for Vegas. Calgary doesn't have spectacular goaltending. They have David Riddick and Mike Smith. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot like Jones, where their numbers are inflated because the team in front of them scores 9 goals a game.
I was just looking at I'm looking at my notes, if you guys are wondering like why I'm looking down my left or right. So I'm just gonna name you off a couple. Here's our top. Paz 37, Cardinal 34, Cooch is at 26, Timo 29, Kane got 28, and then the Thornton, LeBanc, and Sorensen line, they have 30 between them, or more than that actually. Donsko is having a bit of a bad year with only 14, but when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that are over 20 goals, I mean,
the only thing I would say for Donskoy would simply be that, he's not having the goal scoring year that we want him to have, but he's still shifty. He still makes passes. He still makes plays. He still skates hard. He's not having the goal scoring year, but he's also playing on the 4th line. So you'd like to see him score a bit more, but I mean, he's down there for a reason right now. Mm-hmm. The 3rd line was skating all night. Anybody that says Jumbo Joe Thornton's doesn't belong in this league or is washed up is out of their mind. I've had people tell me that today, that Thornton can't skate. I'm like, have you been watching him? Because he's been one of our best players.
That line's been one of our best players.
Our whole line's just been grinding. I wish Thornton would shoot more. I just wish that instead of that stupid reverse drop pass they all try to do.
It happened last night too. I think he was on a 2-on-1 or 3-on-2 or something like that, and try to drop past it. It's like, just shoot the puck.
Yeah, it happened a lot.
A good shot.
Once they started shooting, they started scoring. It's a weird thing with the Sharks. If they finally can rediscover that, hey, we're good. If we shoot the puck, we'll score. You know, but you go down
all of those guys can
3-0.
score.
You go down 3-0 to anybody in this league. Good luck. You know. And Corey Crawford's won, I don't know, what, 2-3 cups now, so he's not exactly a scrub. You know, it's just been a lot of bad luck. But again, it's you can't you can't excuse the team either. The coaching staff, everybody's accountable right now.
Yeah.
You know, I think the whole defensive. Paul Gackle is one of our insiders, one of our reporters. He had told me yesterday that the reason they switch up he puts his defensive pairs in a blender, quote unquote, is because he wants to get his top guys more minutes, and that's fine. If you're not continuously putting Joakim Ryan and Tim Heat out there, which you would think you'd want to do, is throw Burns, Dillon, Vlasic out there more. Even Braun's played well. I mean, throw them all out there.
Yeah. He's definitely playing a little better, which is funny.
He's played better than Joakim Ryan. I mean, Ryan's been absolutely just, I mean.
Are we going to dive into that now?
We might have to because, you know, he's not playing well. And we try to put him down in the lower pairs, but the problem is when you go down 3 goals, you have to start switching guys up because you're playing Burns and Vlasic so much that you have to give other guys ice time. Yeah, you've got to just rotate the other guys on their sides. The Burns Vlasic pairing only lasted a period, and they started switching them up again. And so to me, it's just like I wish they'd keep them more the same. But I think even when Carlson comes back, from what I've been told, they're going to do that anyway. They're still going to be, you know. But again, I think if you go back to the way you had it, where if you put Braun with Vlasic again, whatever, nobody likes that pair this year. I'm starting to kind of not like it either. I think if you stick Vlasic with Carlson again and put Tim Heed, I think he's earned the right to play with Burns. And then you put Braun and Dillon, just keep them together. You know, that's 3 solid pairs that can score. Dillon can score. He's proven that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Erik Karlsson speaks for himself. I think Burns right now is just having to keep the bulk of the minutes, and it's just hurting him.
Yeah, he's still doing great.
He's played well, but
he got 78 points in 77 games. So
it's that. But at the same time, if you like the Detroit game where there's on the power play, he's just so gassed because he's skating all over the place and he's flying around, but he's not shooting. You know, he's trying to make that one extra pass, and it's like, Burns, you have one of the best shots in the history of the league, dude. Just let it go. You know, they're not letting it go. And, you know, the shots against might look good. Like Chicago, we only gave up 23 shots, but, 15 of them were within the dots.
Yeah.
So, it's easy to look at the box score, like I said, and just go, oh, this team's playing terrible. Jones sucks. Trade him, cut him, whatever. Put Dell in. But, the last time we saw Aaron Dell, not this last time, but the time before, remember when we started him in Vegas and he gave up like 4 in the first 8 minutes of the game?
That was a 7-3 game or something like that?
It was like 6-0 before you could even blink. And it's like, Aaron Dell is not a starting goalie in the league. I love Aaron Dell. I'm glad we got him, but he's not a starting goalie in the league. Not yet. He's not getting any younger. People think that, Jones doesn't have an extra, I was pulling the stats up earlier and everybody's trying to deflect it. Jones's career playoff percent or save percentage is like 930 or 926, one of those. The cup run year, he had a 935. The year after that, he had a 928, and then last year they get like a 926. And it's like he's like at 898 right now.
Yeah, I wrote it down somewhere.
If we get 930 goaltending, oh my Jesus Christ, if we get 930 goaltending from Jones with this team, who's sweeping us? Name me one team that sweeps us if we get 40 more percentage points from Jones in the playoffs. That's what frustrates me most, man, is last night, right after the game, everybody going in on Jones and just people basically.
Last night you were pretty heated.
I was pissed last night because it's like everybody. This is the same fan base that talks about how loyal we are and we're always at the games and this and that, but it's the same people that boo the team when they're down 1-0 and they won't shoot on a power play. It's the same people that after one loss trade Jones, he sucks. It's the same people that when we lose in a playoff game, they're already talking about just trade away the team next year and look for next year and rebuild. I actually hate the fact that this team has a chance to win the cup because those fans don't deserve to be at the parade. I'm dead serious. I stick with this team
Episode 1, we're making friends.
I don't even care, man. If you think we're gonna get swept by Vegas in round 1, you don't deserve to be at the parade when we have one. Because Vegas is good. They've been tough for us to beat. Obviously, they're tough for anybody to beat. They went to the Stanley Cup Finals, and they were only beaten by Ovechkin, who is that Capitals team was just not going to lose. They beat Pittsburgh, and that was it. That was their kryptonite. They were winning it. Same thing with us, dude. If we get by Vegas, I mean, the momentum that's going to give us, the confidence that's going to give us. We just beat the only team in the playoffs, realistically, that anybody says can beat us. We look at the East and Boston tough, Pittsburgh tough, Tampa Bay tough, but everybody points to Vegas being the team we cannot beat.
Yeah. So that brings me to my next, or I guess like moving this forward, I guess. So do you think actually being second seed and playing pretty at this point, I think it's gonna be Vegas.
It's gonna be Vegas.
It's just
I said that a week ago.
Yeah, it's just a matter of who's getting home ice. Do you think it's gonna benefit us playing Vegas? And if we do beat Vegas, I mean,
think of it this way: no matter what, you were gonna play Vegas, whether you got them in round 1 or you got them in round 2.
Mm-hmm.
Last year we swept Anaheim and we ran into a freight train that was Vegas. This year we play them in the first round. There's a lot of guys on the team from last year that remember Vegas skating off our ice going to the Western Finals. This time the first 2 games aren't in Vegas. We're getting them at home. The game we lost last year, game 3, when we went down 2-1 in the series, if anybody remembers that goal specifically, it was because Paul Martin just gave up on the play and William Karlsson skated in for a breakaway and scored. We don't have anybody that slow. I mean, you could say Braun is, but Braun would hustle and make him work. Guys are going to hustle. And in that situation, it wouldn't even be Braun out there. It would be Karlsson, Blasek, it would be Burns. It'd be somebody with speed. We have a lot of speed now on the defensive end.
Yeah.
And so, we played them tight every game. Besides game 1 where we got blown out, every game was close. Game 2, 4-3 overtime. Game 3, 4-3 overtime. Game 4, we shut them out. Game 5
went overtime.
Yeah, game 5 we lost by 2. Game 6 we absolutely dominated the entire 2 periods of play. Dominated the team. They could not get out of their zone. Jones gives up 1 goal to Marchessault, and then it's all over. And that's what's frustrating is it's just like you can't. Those are just the goals you can't give up. You can't give up those softies and expect to win. This team's pretty fragile right now, especially.
So do you think our morale's kind of just down there? Or do you
it has to be, but you don't have the captain in the room. Pavs isn't there, and people forget he's got. Not only does he have 40 goals, but he's the captain for a reason. His presence means a lot. Yeah, you got Thornton and Burns and these guys, but the captain isn't there. He leads on the ice. He doesn't have to yell and scream at nobody. He steps out there and he grinds every shift, and if he's not out there this weekend, we might go 0-2. I got to be honest. Vegas is rolling right now, and the way we give up goals, and the last time we played them, we gave up 7. We were scored 30 seconds into the game.
Yep.
And then just decided to crap the bed and give up 2 in a row, and then we never recovered. We tied the game, and then that was it.
That's one thing too, is that we got to stop giving up that first goal, man. It doesn't
even matter. It hurts, but Couture scored a minute in, and then we got blown out by 7. So it doesn't matter. The whole team just has to figure out how to score. And then, the whole 30-0 giving up 2 or less goals, that's fantastic. But you have to actually give up 2 or less goals to make that matter. We've been just giving up 3, 4, 5 goals a game, and yeah, sure, blame the goalie only. Don't watch the game. Look at the analytical heat chart where Jones could have made that save. Oh. Well, if you put the 2 people on the ice that are there, like DeBrincat and Kane, DeBrincat has 40 goals this year. Yeah, what a scrub. It's just ridiculous, man. Yeah, tomorrow and Sunday are going to tell a lot. This is the biggest back-to-back we've had in the regular season in a long, long time.
This is the one that you've been pointing out for at least, a couple months?
A couple months, and last month especially, I had said, this was when we were leading the Pacific, and I thought it was going to come down to this weekend, but Calgary winning tonight, I think that kind of puts them out of reach because they're now they have 103, so they're going to be 8 points up on us. Yeah. So they're 4 games up with
There's
what,
5
6
games
to
left.
go, 5 to go.
Yeah.
So there's 10 points on the board. You have to hope Calgary loses at least 3 or 4 of them,
Yeah,
and
which is not.
you can. I mean, I told my wife this the other day. Is you might as well just pencil us in. I mean, I'm going to game 1. I already got my ticket, and I've been telling everybody get ready for Vegas. I've been saying this for about a week, and then Calgary went on a slide, Vegas went on a slide. I'm like, okay, we got a shot. And then we go and lose to LA and Anaheim and then Detroit and then Chicago. It's like, okay, well, now we're kind of screwed. You win 2 of those games, we're, 4 points back of them?
Yeah.
We could have caught them had we played. If we won tomorrow and Sunday at 4 points back, we'd have tied them in points. But you didn't, and you move on. You just get ready to go against Vegas and just secure home ice. That's the last thing you can do at this point.
Yeah, because, again, like, just Vegas is right. Again, they're right behind us. They're nipping. I mean, hopefully, Wild.
It looks like they're losing tonight. They were down 3-1 last time I saw. So,
3-2 Wild with 5 left to go in the third. So,
them Vegas are a bunch of stingy bastards. I'll tell you that much.
oh yeah,
Those guys are never out of a game. But I think something's wrong with Fleury, unless they're just resting him for the playoffs, because he's been out. It was supposed to just be a 1 or 2 game thing, and he's been out for a while.
Yeah.
Kind of like Pavelski, where they said he looked good in practice. I was seeing video. He was supposed to skate. He could have skated yesterday, and now from what DeBoer said, he might not play. He might not even play.
Yeah.
I hate the way this team that goes about it. The whole just dancing around what's wrong with people. Like, who are you trying to fool at this point? If Pavelski has a tear or a sprain, it'd be nice for everybody to know, because it's not going to matter if he doesn't play in the game. What does it matter that you hide his status? Oh, he's hurt. Well, yeah, we all knew he's hurt. The other team knows he's hurt.
Yeah, not in the lineup.
Everybody knows he's hurt. It's just one of those things that it sucks, because I would have loved to have had an easier matchup against, Colorado. I don't know how easy they are at this point.
Yeah.
Colorado, Dallas is the other squad in there right now, so that's not really an easy matchup. I think Dallas we match up better with. But it doesn't matter whether you're playing Vegas in round 1 or 2, or you're playing Calgary in rounds 2, Winnipeg or Nashville in round 3, and then the Cup final, you get Boston, Pittsburgh, Washington, Tampa. So there's no easy way this year.
Yeah.
There's no easy, clear-cut winner. Everybody can say Tampa because they have 500 points, but, once game 1 of the playoffs starts, it doesn't matter. They lose 4 in a row, or they lose 4 at some point, it's over. It's just one of those where you have a couple bad games in a row, and you're down in a series, and you end up losing.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes. So we'll see. It's going to be tough no matter what, but, if game 1 of the playoffs is a Thursday or Friday against Vegas, well, guess what? Doesn't matter. You got to play who's in front of you.
Exactly.
We need health, and we need to just be ready to go.
I think it's our biggest thing is health. Like,
everybody's
it sucks.
hurting.
I mean,
everybody's hurting right now, but
Nyquist took that spill and he went off the ice, and
he's fine. They were talking to him today. He already fixed all his teeth.
Yeah. He's been chipped last night.
I know in practice, LeBanc took a puck off the nose too and was bleeding all over the place. So it's like, right now, I mean, everybody's banged up, every single team. You're not gonna catch an advantage. But again, I think everybody forgets what Erik Karlsson is to this team, because we've had to play without him for so many games.
Yeah.
I just think that people forget that he had 52 points in like 55 games. He's probably the best defenseman in the league, and he makes Burns better, because people have to worry about Karlsson just as much as they have to worry about Burns.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's.
And then when you put them on the power play together, there's nothing you can do, because Karlsson's going to skate down the wing and then thread a pass across the ice to somebody that nobody even saw.
I think I mentioned it on the last unaired pilot, but I called Karlsson the thorn of our defensive pair.
He's just, I mean, if people really watch him and watch the way he can skate, his skating ability is what sets him apart from anybody else. I mean, he just makes a quick little pivot. And that's why that's why they've kept him out for so long, is because his, having a groin injury, I can imagine, is being awful, especially being a hockey player where you got to pivot off your legs. And him especially, he makes those quick little pivot head fake moves, and he's going the other way at 100 miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
Or he's gliding back, and he'll somehow find a way to poke check you from across the ice, and get the puck around you, and he's going the other way for an odd man rush. He was on he had like 25 points or 25 straight games with a point or something like that. And people forget that. And it's easy to forget. It's easy to talk about how bad Carlson is, and this was a terrible trade and this and that. But I promise you, everybody that's saying that, when they see him play in the playoffs, if he's at 90 to 100%, good luck. That's all I can really say. Losing Shimmick really frustrates me, man.
It does.
We found a diamond in the rough, playing absolutely out of his mind, and then he just an unfortunate hockey play. It wasn't anything dirty. They just slipped and fell, and he fell on his leg, and that was the end of that. So again, it's one of those where a full health Sharks team will not get swept. I mean, I'd liquidate all my assets on that. There's no chance in hell that this team gets swept. I don't know what team anybody's been watching. We have 95 points and we've lost 7 in a row. Let that sink in for a minute.
Exactly.
We're second in the West. Yeah, granted by 1 point, because Winnipeg is behind us by a point now. But you're second in the West and you've lost 7 games. So that means it's taken people 7 games to even catch us, and they still haven't passed us. And if we shock the world and take 4 points out of this weekend, it's a whole different ball game now.
That's the thing too. I'm like, just like we're talking about earlier about the morale. I mean, it would mean a whole lot, not just to them, but to us too as fans, because right now the fans are kind of again just in uproar.
Everybody's frustrated, and I get it.
Yeah,
I get the frustration. 100%. People forget apparently that we're also fans. I get it, and I get it's easy to point the finger at the dude in the net, and I get it's easy to blame the coach. It's easy to blame this guy or that guy. It's super, super easy. But when you look at the whole scope of the game, yes, there's Jones. He's got to be better. No one's arguing. He's got to be better. Defense has to be better. The forwards got to figure out how to not turn the puck over. There's just a lot of things that we've got to figure out.
Thing, just like winning battles, dude. I mean, that the last goal, the winning goal, was a lost battle, and then led to that freaking awesome tip. But
right, it's what it is. It's Patrick Kane just making magic. There's a reason they call him Showtime. Exactly. He's just turned literally nothing. There's nothing there. He floated a backhander from the top of the dot to the net, and it just got deflected right. Just perfect deflection. Mm-hmm. And that's a deflating goal, and it's frustrating, and yes, blame Jones. But at the same time, you see the play, you're like, well, I mean, what would you have done in that situation?
Because Kane was on him too.
Everybody was there. There was no opening there. There was nobody open. It was just a backhand flip that got deflected, and that's what people got to realize. Imagine all the teams on the other side of Pavelski's stupid tips from 95 feet away. Imagine that Detroit game where he was standing on the dot and he deflected it 90 degrees the other way. Mm. You got to think of Detroit fans when he does that. Like, oh, it's real easy to blame your goalie because how far away he is, but when you realize how tough a deflection is to stop, I'm not exactly a professional, but when we play outside roller hockey and stuff, deflections, you see it in front of you and then it's going the other way. Nothing you can do, The point shot, he should have stopped. There's a couple that he's just a little bit out of position for, of course. But when you're down 3-0, you're starting to just swim. You're starting to scramble. You don't want to give up another goal.
Yeah, just desperate hockey, street hockey at that point.
That's all it is. But dude, if they get tomorrow, what's Vegas' number one asset that they have? You think of Vegas, you think of what?
Their speed.
You think of speed immediately. Right off your head, you think of speed. So what they're going to want to do is they're going to pick the puck up. If you turn the puck over against Vegas, you might as well just get ready for Calgary. I'll tell you that right now. You turn the puck over in the neutral zone to any of their 4 lines. Their fourth line can score. You give it up to anybody. You give it up to Mark Stone, Carlson, Stastny, Marchessault, Smith, any of those. Literally any of those guys. It's in the back of your net. Max Pacioretty, any of those guys. It's just they're too good. You can't turn it over. You can't be the one and done, Burns half a Hail Mary slapper wide off the boards for no reason. Shoot it with purpose. Like, hit the net. Yesterday, I said that about 50 times in the third period. Just so many shots chipped just wide, just wide, just wide. I'm like, dude, take that extra split second and just hit the net. Just hit the net. You never know, dude.
Great chances, get dirty goals, and
that's what the playoffs are going to be. That's why everybody forgets.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks these playoffs are going to be flashy, just amazing, immaculate plays. You're going to get some, but playoff hockey is where it gets a little tighter. They allow more grabbing, more holding. We've got a big enough team with enough speed to counter anybody, but it's about doing it. We can sit here and talk about how good they are and how bad they are, but it's about when they perform out there and what they can figure out. You're either going to – there's only three outcomes here. You sweep the homestand, you get swept on the homestand, or you split it. It's just you got to figure it out. And the hope is that you can sweep them. If you sweep these two guys, gain 4 points – and now all of a sudden Calgary's thinking, okay, they just beat us. Vegas is thinking, okay, they just beat us. And if we're without our captain or with him, it's like, okay, one guy out of the two that's hurt comes back and they beat us. Imagine when they get the other guy back. I would love for Karlsson. My bold prediction on Monday morning was that Erik Karlsson would play in this game if we were close to catching Calgary and we're not.
Yeah.
So I would say if he plays, it's going to be the last game against Colorado. Just to get him a little bit of a taste, which hopefully we're not playing for anything, so he could just go out there and Colorado could just go out there and just basically make it a scrimmage. Yeah, just make it a scrimmage where you're just playing, you're just skating around, and you're not really doing anything. You're just, he's just out there playing. Hopefully gets a hit or two, scores a goal or two, get some points. Just get his feet wet, because the last thing I want Erik Karlsson to do, now if anybody can do it, he can, but the last thing I want him to do is game one back. Is game one of the playoffs against Vegas. So it's just, to me, he's going to need a little bit of time to warm up and get back to speed.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see tomorrow morning. If he takes the team practice, which I hope Pavelski does, and I hope they're 100% ready to go. I hope Karlsson can play. But I think they're going to be so cautious with him. I don't see it at this point. I don't think he plays till next week. Very, very unfortunate. Because I was hyping these two games up. These two games I was hyping up for a long, long time. Just simply because I figured, we're going to be in the hunt. We're going to be right behind these guys. If we take two games and, we could possibly take first. But 8 points down with 5 to go. I mean, good luck.
Yeah.
That would basically mean that Calgary can only, get 1 point in the next 5, and that's just not going to happen.
Especially with their soft schedule.
They have just baby food of schedule, man. And, we after this, so do we. I mean, we play these two, and then I believe it's Vancouver, Edmonton, and Colorado, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like we had the hardest schedule either. I mean, Detroit and Chicago, respecting to them, they weren't exactly top-tier threat.
Well, even Anaheim and LA.
Yeah, exactly. That is 8 points that we just left on the table right there. It's just left it there. The LA game, we were up 2-1 going into the third. That's inexcusable. Anaheim, we tied it late and gave up one in overtime. It happens. Detroit just absolutely bodied us. Chicago, they got up early and they got a couple more, and that was it. That's the way it goes. So, we kind of live with it now. The next time I believe we'll talk, I think will be the last game of the year next week. I guess we'll be just getting ready for the following week when we're getting ready for the playoffs.
Yeah.
We'll see, man. Yeah, this weekend will tell a lot.
Party, and so
this weekend's definitely going to tell a lot about this team. If they come out and they're flat and they don't look like they're ready to go, we'll have a lot more concern Monday morning. If they can't come out and be ready to fly and be ready to hit and skate against Vegas and Calgary, I don't care that you're on the back-to-back. I don't care. You're at home. You get to go home and sleep in your own bed. Vegas is on the second half of a back-to-back. They're obviously playing right now. There's no excuse there. You're home. You're rested. You get to play a tired Vegas team. The next day, you'll be playing Calgary.
Breaking 2, Vegas just lost in regulation, 3-2. So go fucking wild.
They're wild. They're fighting for their playoff lives too, and that's the thing.
They are. Yep.
And if what you said is correct, if we beat Vegas tomorrow, well, guess what? Round 1 is now set. We're playing Vegas at home. That's just the way it's going to go. We can lose literally the rest of the games. But I think because if they have, 4 games left, 5 games left, how many does Vegas have left?
Now they've got 4 now.
So they can still get 8 points. They have 90?
Yeah, I had them up, too. I had everything up, and then I switched.
I'm pretty sure they have 90, and I think if I'm not wrong, we have 95 or 96.
Yeah.
Because if we have 96 and we win tomorrow, then that would basically cement game 1 at home.
I'm loading up now. Sorry.
Because that would give us an 8-point cushion on them, I think, with the tiebreakers, too.
We've had 95, and
95.
Vegas had 90.
They have 90?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we need to win at least 2 more because they have 8 points. Because, if they win out, they'll end up with 98.
Yep.
And if we, all we would need to do then is win 2 more. So we win today and tomorrow, that clinches game 1. That's the way that goes. If we win today and tomorrow, game 1's clinched. But again, it really doesn't matter. I mean, obviously we work this hard. Home ice is the least that we can get at this point. We need that.
I think that would give us, just any momentum, anything sways in our direction.
You sweep this and you clinch. Let's say you sweep this, and next week when we play the last 3 games, you literally wouldn't have to play anybody because Vegas can't catch you. You can't catch Calgary.
Exactly. You're kind of in a good spot.
You're in a great spot. You great. Well, granted, you want to play your guys and keep winning and building momentum, but I mean, realistically, if there's nothing to gain, you play them against? I'd say you play them against Vancouver and then Edmonton, and then last game of the year, rest everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe play Erik Karlsson 10 minutes. I mean, if that. And everybody's saying rest him to the playoffs, but you can't just throw him in there at the highest rates of speed.
Just groin injury too.
Coming off a groin injury and. Again, I don't like the way we handle the injuries. I think that it'd be nice to know exactly how far along they are. DeBoer has a way of just talking around it.
That guy gets kind of pissy.
I'm not a groin specialist, and he's skating. He's doing all the right things, and he's making all the, thing. There's no setbacks. There's no this. There's no that. Well, that's great. Same with Pavelski. Oh, I could have played him, but I'm going to save him. I thought it'd be. We considered playing him, and then we didn't. Okay, well, is he playing tomorrow against Vegas? I don't know. We're not ready to put him in yet. We'll see. Game time decision. I'm like, dude, is he hurt or is he okay?
Exactly, yeah.
Obviously he knows and his team probably knows, but it's granted we're the fans. We don't really just need to know that information, but it'd be nice to know what the hell's going on with our captain and our star defenseman.
Yeah, it's been just limbo, and I've been, finding out from you or from, Reddit and even Reddit, I haven't seen any posts, and it's it's just ominous is all I can find,
I just stalk guys like Kevin Kurz and Paul Gackle and these guys that cover the team, and even them. I mean, I hear them ask straight across, how's Karlsson looking, how's Pavelski looking, and they don't get the answers. And granted, if they'd rather not give it to them, but at the same time, it's I guess it's just wait and see. But it's frustrating not knowing if you're going into a game without your captain. But I guess you got your 2 All-Stars. You got arguably the most productive defenseman that we had. And you could say Burns was, but Karlsson's pace was more insane than Burns was.
Yeah.
Karlsson was also playing a lot better defensively. He was our best player for the longest time, our absolute best player. You take the best player. I mean, take Kucherov off the Lightning. Take Crosby off the Penguins. Take Ovi off the Capitals. It's just take Bergeron off the Bruins, who might have
changed the whole dynamic of the team. I mean,
you literally changed the team. I mean, it's like take William Karlsson off the Knights. Anybody, pick somebody. Take Johnny Gaudreau off the Flames.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And then not only that, but take Johnny Gaudreau and then take Mark Giordano off the Flames. If you're losing your defenseman and your forward. It's not just one, it's both. So I said you can't really just compare. It's like taking a guy like Victor Hedman and somebody less like Braden Point. Although Pavelski being our captain, okay, fine, take Stamkos and take Hedman. Take John Carlson and Ovechkin off the Capitals.
Yeah.
There's so many. We have the deepest defensive core in the league, but when you're missing 2 of the top 4, well, guess what? They're average.
Mm-hmm.
So
which has just been painfully obvious for that too.
You got guys like Joachim Ryan, who a lot of people believed in, and everybody thought was a great ability to not trade him and stuff, but he just hasn't shown anything. He hasn't shown the ability to just lock down the top role. And that was the problem, I think, last year. Last year, he went into the Vegas series talking about, it's just Vegas. I don't know why we shouldn't be afraid of them. And then you get absolutely roasted in the next 2 games. Well, that's why. That's why you should be afraid of Vegas, because they're that good. And, now this year he's just been playing bad, and so is the whole team. But you got to get a play from somebody.
I think that's all it is, too. Just we need somebody.
Somebody's got to make a play.
Exactly. I mean,
the top guys can score every game, but defensively, somebody needs to step up and make a play. Jones needs to step up, make a save.
Exactly.
It's everybody. It's absolutely everybody. So, but again, not much more we can talk about other than the fact that we got to just let them go out and play and see what shakes out the next couple of games.
But yeah, guys, so I think that's gonna do it for the first episode of Teal Talk. Again, we're still trying to figure out like how we're gonna do this. Like, this is more of like just a podcast rant session, especially because just what's happening with the team right now. We're in, playoffs are in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, and the team's not.
2 weeks.
Yeah, the team's not performing. So this is more of a rant, but I mean, again, we're all passionate fans here. We all want to see our team improve. We know they can be better than this. Even with, I think even with the people we have, we can be playing better than this. And that's just it. So I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I think we pull out. I think we pull out one of them. I'm gonna say I think we pull out Vegas. I think it's a hard-fought match, just like it always is. I think we go to overtime, and we get one there. And I don't know about Calgary, but that's my bold prediction for this
I'm
week.
backwards.
Again.
You're backwards. I think we take Calgary because I think we're in Calgary's head.
Yeah.
Vegas is a little bit more in our head, But I think if you can beat one, you can beat the other one. You got to just start with one. Start with Vegas and go from there.
All right, guys, so that's going to do it. Again, I'm Latino Goose, joined by, of course, Sniper Shark. Do you want to give out your Twitter so I can put it out on the bottom, too? So.
Yeah, I'll throw it out there for you guys. I just changed my handle. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but we'll put it.
Because you've been very active on Twitter, so.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the guys that I've been commenting with will have some stuff to say, so I'll let them. I'll post it out there and see what anybody. I'd love to hear the comments and the feeds. We could probably also timestamp it to where what we were talking about every different section. That way, nobody has to listen to the whole however long this has been.
Yeah,
just to kind of get the bullet points.
Again, I want to see your comments. Again, this is our first episode, so we're gonna be, we're gonna go through the kinks. We're gonna figure out maybe just to make it a little more organized. But again,
watchable.
Watchable. I was gonna say something else and I totally forgot it. But these are gonna be just once a week, covering what's been happening that week. Unless something insane happens, we'll cover it. I guess if that's fair to say. Like injury-wise, fucking knock on fucking wood. Or if we get swept this weekend and it's a fucking blowout, then we might have to make an emergency video. But for the time being, there's gonna be once a week. Hopefully on Thursdays, we'll see. But again, guys, thank you guys for watching the inaugural can't say that fucking word. Inaugural episode of Teal Talk. As always, I'm Latino Goose, Sniper Shark, and adios.